What is happening, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day, and welcome on back to Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. So right away, you'll notice some differences here. We are finally in the light category, so we got 4 dashes. I did go ahead and upgrade some stuff. So Fledgling Mask +6 now, Fledgling's Garb +4, and you'll notice that we did finally slot some relics in too. So restores 10 health after killing an enemy, and multiplies stamina regeneration by 1.2. We put the relic slots on the mask also, but we don't really have any I want to use yet, so I'm holding those slots because I'm not sure if you can take it off easily or not, so I'm being careful about that. Then we, of course, have a brand new toy here, Smuggler's Knife +4, and I put the Starborn Egg in there, so that gives it an additional 10% damage. And this is a new blade, so I'll show you right now where I got it from. So we came down here, if you want to know exactly where it is, from the main gate. That's the Lord's Mansion. Come on down here, swing a left when you see the scaffolding, and you'll see this tiny little hole right here. Inside here you'll find Filth, which is the only vendor for stolen items that I've ever found in this game. Rotate on up, hop up here, and come across here, and here's the Smuggler's Dagger right inside here for free. It's not considered stealing either, so you can totally just take it up and not worry about any kind of consequences. After we did that, I'll go ahead and open the map up for you guys. We did do a little bit of exploring. We did some bounties, some side quests. Nothing important to the main story. Of course, the main story is still up here by the men here. We have Through the Cracks, Playing with Fire. I didn't finish all the quests that I had to do here. I still didn't do anything with Burden and Letter either, because I really can't decide who I want to give that to. Anyways, we swung up left. We checked out this place. We found a weird tower, but we didn't go in it yet. There's some druidic shrines spread around. There's an elder worm, which is just this big dragon-looking thing. The Shrine of Croakmore. We didn't activate this because I assume it's going to summon a Croakmore boss, and I was weak at the time, and I didn't want to miss anything cool when I wasn't recording. And then if we pushed a little further up, we would have got a bounty, some quests out here. We'll probably push into those eventually. We have this one that's close. Perinde Ak Kadaba, and the reason why we have that, if we go to statuses, Hollow Shell. We talked to somebody and he was talking about enlightenment and asked us if we were definitely sure we wanted to take it. Well, I said yes, and then he gave us Hollow Shell, waiting to be filled with the sacred joy. So I assume whenever we get to that quest, we're going to get some kind of buff or debuff, depending on our decisions. Hopefully that works out for the best. I took a gamble. I figured I might get something spicy, so I risked it. Beyond that, we might hit up... I'll probably hit up the men here today, because I would like to get the quest. I can't. Yeah, I'd like to get the main quest done first, and then we can worry about everything else as the quest line naturally takes us out into the open world, which I think will happen, I expect. And if anybody was curious what the menhirs look like, since we kind of just got flashbanged and then fell over last episode, this is what the menhirs look like, and they look very cool. I'll go over here so you all can see it properly. The lens flare is kind of getting in my way.
Hello there.
That's what they look like. Actually, if I pull out our sketchbook here, I can sketch the men here, which is very cool. It's a cool little feature that I wasn't aware was in the game until I went back to Bones of the South and picked that up. But here's the shield of Palamedes. Just sitting there, huh? So let's save first, because I don't know what happens when I touch this.
This is my shield, but there's no part of my soul inside. We need to look somewhere else. But I can feel the missing part. Close. Maybe it's the men here. Maybe it needs something from us.
Well, it definitely wants to do something, because as soon as we came here, it already attracted itself to your soul. Beautiful murals in the back. King Arthur's gear looked great. Okay, so I need to find the real shield of Palamedes, which contains a part of Arthur's soul. I don't even know who I would talk to. Perhaps we go back to the Lord. the Lord would know if that shield is a fake or not, right? Then again, he said it was. But that says real. So that's not his shield, I don't think. Okay, let's go talk to the Lord. Or I wonder if we just go inside the Menhir vault. Probably shouldn't mess with that when it's a lockpick. Let's go talk to the Lord and we'll see if he knows anything about that. And then we'll figure out what to do beyond that. After we make sure that we're not going to step on any toes here by lockpicking that up. It would make sense if it was in the vault, the real one, because leaving such a rare relic out in the open did seem kind of weird to me as soon as I saw that was the case. I was kind of like, why would you just have it sitting there? So maybe we can confront him about that not being the real shield.
If I just stay put, everything will be...
We don't have to talk to his manservant. No dialogue with you, huh?
Ah, you need something.
Curious. Well, the only way I can see us being able to interact with the men here is by going inside the vault. We could switch up to some side quests while I try and figure that out, but let's save and we'll go inside the vault. But I really don't want to turn the whole village against us, because they said they'd try and chop my head off if I took the real one. The Lord outright told me that things weren't going to go good. Okay, how about a change of pace? How about we go take care of this little buff that's on my character? We'll head inside this castle that's been overrun by the Red Death. And I'll show you guys how the daggers perform. Very good, as you can see. Does not play games. And the crit chance and everything else that just stacks up on top of it, it gets spicy, needless to say. What do you have in this chest? Yeah, since I got the quest that takes me up here, I guess we'll clear the fortress today. I've been curious about it anyway. Oh, something else that I forgot to mention to you guys. We found this too. I was wandering around the open world at night, and I killed an enemy that had a unidentified item. And when I identified it, that's all we had. It was a reflex bow +3. So our archery has taken a pretty good upgrade here too. The build is very much on its way to glory. Blood clot, monster blood, infected skin. Blood clot, monster blood, infected skin. I'm not too interested in the spoiled meat. I don't think there's even a use case for it. At least not one that I've found. Yeah, once you get that crit, it's over. Speaking of, I should show why that is. So if you look at the Smuggler's Dagger, one thing I forgot to mention is it increases the critical damage by 25% per each dash counter. And as you can see, we're 4 dashes on the counter. And so every time we crit, we look at our regular critical damage would be melee crit damage, or crit damage in general is 565% now because of those 4 dash charges, which is obscene. That's absurd. We're already at 162 melee damage default with a 60% crit chance almost, and it's almost, we're pushing 600%. And then every time we get a kill, we get health back too, so I don't need to heal anymore, which means all those status effect build-ups about resetting on healing item, well, that won't reset our counters anymore. Because there is no healing item. We don't need it anymore. What was... Before I commit to going in here, let me look through some of this. Lord Ivan asked me to speak with Denholm and try and calm him down. Okay, let's do the other main quest. Because he might send us here. And I like hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. But at least I got to show you guys how the daggers perform. It's a very good build. Well, I probably should make its own isolated build video, I think, at some point. I probably should.
Always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure to see you. I don't recall where I picked up every single item though, so that'd be a problem for the build video. I'll have to backtrack and figure out where I got those from. I know the list, and I suppose the game is Googleable, right? So you could always just Google where I got them from, but I'd like to show them at least the weapons, right? Because a lot of this stuff is quest items. And so I know where the Dual Knight stuff is. I don't know where I got Blood Ring. I don't know where I got this either. So it'll be hard to make a build video, and I don't know where I got all my items from. But these two, I know exactly where I got these from. So that's not too big of a deal.
Ah, here's our troublemaker.
Troublemaker, huh?
You've really caused a stir around here with that spectacle in front of the Menhir.
Wasn't intentional.
Everything in order.
Wasn't intending to collapse.
And people were all set to move to Camelot. But now, you appear out of nowhere, and suddenly a dying pile of stones lights up like a bonfire. That's bad. That's very bad.
Shouldn't you be happy that the Menhir is working again? And why is it so bad?
Firstly, because now I have to write yet another report to Camelot that we're going to be late, and that they need to send us even more supplies. Secondly, you've somehow reignited the Menhir, and this has reignited people's hopes that they can stay. And that's dangerous. And before you ask why it's dangerous, take a look around town. The recent Red Death outbreak took its toll, and I'm pretty sure things are just going to get worse and worse. But you should be thankful to them. Their hopes are the only reason we haven't locked you up for sabotaging our initiative.
That's how Camelot works, huh? I come in here, I save the village, and also, shouldn't the point of... See, Camelot wants to absolve everybody. They want to move everybody to Camelot, take all the Menhirs back there, and then just have Camelot be the only livable place on Avalon. But that means they're going to be surrounded by the Wyrdness on all sides, and that's not a great hope for the last of humanity, is it? Not only that, but I really don't like the way they operate. Like you said, he would have already locked them up, or potentially killed us, if not for the villagers, for interfering with the initiative, and the initiative is complete unification of the land under Camelot, which is not the deals that they signed, right? They're kind of directly opposing freedom and individuality here, and I'm not for that. So, I mean, Denholm, I believe, is one of the people we can give the letter to help Camelot, but maybe it's not so bad that they're sabotaging Camelot, you know? Maybe I can be of use.
You can go tell Murig that your presence doesn't change anything about our deal, and that you are unwilling to help with his endeavors, whatever they may be. And if he doesn't listen, play along, but come back to me when you learn what he has planned.
One of your men has lost his mind. He's in the hospital.
If only it were just one. Sorry. You're talking about the poor man in hospital, right?
Correct.
He's a scout. We've been preparing to evacuate the residence, and I sent him out a while back to make sure the route to Camelot was safe and clear. Looks like he tried to take a shortcut through the waterworks. That's where they found him, babbling and talking nonsense. The Wyrdness must have caught him.
Is there any way to help him?
Pray to the All-Mother. Although, truth be told, although I've seen plenty fall victim to the Wyrdness, I've yet to see any divine intervention from our goddess. But you could help me. You look like someone who's seen a fair bit of Avalon and isn't afraid to travel alone. I could use someone like that to finish the job my scout couldn't complete. Of course, you'd be properly compensated.
Naturally. What exactly do you need me to do?
Take the road to Camelot, all the way to the Iron Gate, and report back on whether it's clear. Handle any smaller threats yourself, and tell me about any larger ones.
Seems
Sooner the
fair.
better. Think you can manage that?
I'm pretty sure.
Great. Head out then. No need to write a report. Just come see me when you're back.
Okay. Why do you want to take the men here?
Isn't it obvious? For the safety of all the residents of Avalon.
You mean the residents of
Only
Camelot?
by gathering the Menhirs in one place and reigniting them will we be able to keep ourselves safe from the Wyrdness. Avalon's population has significantly declined over recent years. We're on the brink of extinction, damn it. That's why we need to stick together, to take care of each other. Only Camelot possesses the necessary infrastructure to establish the right conditions for its people. If they remain here, they will die, either from the Wyrdness itself, or from the horde of monsters it spawns. And there aren't enough soldiers here for their protection. You must know that I didn't come here just to obey orders. I truly believe that this is the only way to save everyone on Avalon.
Okay, so now I have a little different perspective on this guy. And I would actually agree with him if the men here hadn't reignited when I came back, because now this place has protection from the Wyrdness once again, so they don't have to evacuate these people. The men here is working. And what if your plan doesn't work? What if the Wyrdness remains a threat?
Then at the very least, we'll have bought some time for those wiser than us to think of an alternative solution. Perhaps we will invade Tuathan, like in the glorious old days. Or perhaps someone will find a way to free the derelict fleet, allowing us return to the homelands. I don't know. But there's one thing I'm certain of, and I'll repeat it as often as necessary. Only by standing together can we overcome the Wyrdness.
Well, as far as I was aware, the reason they left the homeland was because the Red Death completely took all of it, and they fled the Red Death. So going back there would be going back to Red Death's homeland, which is the reason you fled in the first place. I saw your soldiers pounding on some poor man's door.
Yes, on my orders. Firkett needs to give me an explanation for a very unfortunate accident in which innocent soldiers were hurt.
What happened?
One of our warehouses burned down. The one where we kept all of Firkett's inventions. My men suspect sabotage, which isn't exactly unheard of around here. I do have my doubts, though. They say Firkett is a madman, and madmen tend to be poor planners. Trust me, I know all about it.
Who is Firkett exactly?
He's a local inventor, and as far as I know, doesn't have the best reputation in Kurnacht. At the moment, at least. There was a time when he was quite useful. He invented various machines for more efficient farming and other practical applications. But now he's apparently fixated on the Wyrdness, and he doesn't want to talk about anything else. People are afraid of him. Since you're already here, I might have a task for you.
I might be willing to do it.
Firkett refuses to talk to my men, and the locals don't trust him. There's a slim chance that anyone would be willing to mediate the matter. But you, he doesn't know you. Perhaps he'll be more open with a stranger and confess the truth. So, are you interested?
I'd love to take over the investigation. What should I do?
You can ask him if he set fire to our warehouse on purpose. You should also try to bring him in voluntarily, though knowing Firkett, that's unlikely. Do whatever you think is best. I just want to find out who is responsible for this accident and make an informed decision based on that. Here are the orders. Show them to the boys by the gate and they'll let you in to see Firkett.
Okay.
As soon as you find out what happened with Firkett, report back to me immediately.
So, now that I've talked to him, Lieutenant, you are hereby instructed to discontinue any further investigation or surveillance of Mr. Firkett, the inventor, effective immediately. Please ensure all personnel under your command are made aware of this directive and comply without delay. I expect you and your unit to return to headquarters at your earliest convenience. Upon your return, a detailed report of all prior engagements with Mr. Firkett is to be submitted for review. Thank you for your cooperation and prompt compliance. So, given this conversation, we'll check this dialogue out before this one, but I might actually give him the letter because he does seem like he has the right thing in mind here, and he is definitely directing his people to protect this city. So I might actually turn in the saboteur. Why do you need that Murig?
Murig, who apparently prefers to be called Maggot, is a druid, even though he may not look the part. and druids are the only ones who know the rituals necessary to ignite the menhirs. Due to bad luck, or more accurately, the decisions of my superiors, our options for druids are limited. That's why I'm forced to work with Murig, and prophet be my witness, neither of us is happy about that. But I'm no fool. I know that what happened in front of the menhir might make Murig consider double-crossing us. He'll try to find a way to reignite the menhir so that it could stay in Kunok despite our agreement. So, if you ever find out what he's planning, if he ever asks you to fetch something for his ritual, you make sure you come to me first.
Maybe. I found a letter that quite clearly points to the person who ordered the sabotage.
Really? Airfear. I hope you understand that this needs to stay between us. If anyone finds out who's responsible for the sabotage, well, I'd be forced to take drastic measures, and I don't want to do that. Even my own men can't know about this. We're not interested in a conflict with the residents of Kunakt.
You're a good man. What are you planning to do?
We could use your help once more. This is a delicate matter. I will talk about the sabotage with Airfear personally. However, I know that resorting to violence and public punishment will not be a good solution in this case.
Actually a good commander.
Meanwhile, the equipment is still broken. And you know something funny? The only person who could get us replacements for the damaged parts is Airfear. Problem is, his forge has been closed lately for some reason, and he refuses to help. I'd like you to find out what's causing this standstill. Don't worry, you'll be rewarded.
I would assume so. Okay, so I'm glad I didn't go turn that back into the guard right away then. Because the commander here actually has his head on straight. I judged him poorly at first. I was mistaken. So... Alright, that's the path that he wanted us to take. Let's wrap up these quests inside Kunok first. So let's go talk to the guy that's holed up in his house. Take a little bit of damage, but it's okay. Actually didn't if we land on the top. You're relieved. Go back to the barracks. Denholm's orders.
The seal looks good. Orders are orders. I'm glad, Ferk, it's your problem now instead of ours.
Let's see if he'll be a little more compliant with me. Knock knock.
Who are you? Did Camelot send you? I'm not talking to those thieves. Get lost.
Thieves, huh? I'm not with Camelot. I'd like to know what's going on here.
I think it's quite obvious, isn't it? They're harassing an honest inventor.
Remains to be
First,
seen.
They stole my entire life's work, and now they show up with grievances. I'm not giving them anything, and I'm not letting anyone in either.
Camelot claims your invention burned down their tents.
Oh, aye, it did. And no surprise there. They've only got themselves to blame. They barged in here and grabbed everything that wasn't nailed down. No, actually, they even prized loose the things that were nailed down and took them too. Do you know what this device is? It's a pyrolosite stabilizer. And they took all the pyrolosite, but left the stabilizer behind. No wonder it blew up.
Calm down. Tell me, what does pyrolosite do?
Well, pyrolosite is a wondrous substance. It can create fire anywhere you are. All you need is a drop of pyrolosite, add a little spit, and there you have it.
A little
Oh,
spit.
it also amplifies the power of weird fires. Isn't that marvelous? So, tell me, don't you think it's marvelous?
Marvelous indeed. Sounds amazing. Very useful for people like me.
Exactly! But all great inventions need painstaking preparation. It takes years of experimentation to make them safe for use. As you can see, my pyrolusite isn't stable yet. That's why the stabilizer is essential. Without it, it's still a dangerous substance.
Have you told them that the pyrolusite needs a stabilizer?
Well, I was pretty agitated at the time.
That's understandable. He is right. They shouldn't have stolen from you. Every man has the right to his own property.
Exactly. It's their own fault.
I would agree.
All I want to do is keep living my life and to keep creating. If they should just return what they stole, then they won't have to worry about their safety.
I'll talk to the legate. Something needs to be done.
You would do that for me? A stranger in Connacht and not even from Camelot?
At the end of the day, they're wrong. They stole your
Thank you.
property.
Whatever happens, thank you for acting as our intermediary. I think we could all use an impartial perspective on this entire tragic situation. Goodbye. It was nice talking to someone normal for once.
Seems like a good dude. I think his men are wrong for stealing from him, honestly. And it sounds like if they hadn't, then they wouldn't have burned their own shit down. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that all their shit burned down. I mean, they stole from him, they didn't ask. Granted, he could have given them the information, but when people barge into your home and, you know, take all of the belongings for the cause, you know, these are my inventions now, comrade. Like, why would he ever tell them, right? Shit, I wouldn't either. I'd be like, yeah, sure, take it. Take it and see what happens.
I'll have some spare.
It'd be a real shame if that was a very unstable substance that you'll never know about. I think Denholm will see the logic behind that too, or I hope, at least. I questioned Furkit.
What's happening with Furkit? Is he going to surrender? Or do I need to use force?
The fault lies with your soldiers. They took everything from him without asking, so they didn't know what was dangerous.
That's a serious accusation. Still, I suspected you might say something like that. I'll be honest with you. Furkit is neither trusted nor well regarded among my soldiers, especially after the accident which, as you claim, they brought upon themselves. Fine. Furkit will stay in Connacht, and his inventions will be returned. However, make sure that he takes proper care of them, so they no longer pose a threat to anyone. Here, this is for your excellently conducted investigation. Tell Furkit of my decision. Let him make the necessary preparations.
Thank you very much. So I'm a fan of Denholm. He has a head on his shoulders. I thought he might see the logic there on just giving all this stuff back since his soldiers stole in the first place, right? Figured he might get on board pretty fast. Good news, Furkit.
And? What's our situation? What did Denholm say?
Denholm will let you stay in Connacht. You can make your weird candles.
Oh, so does this mean Camelot still has a working brain among its ranks? Incredible. Very well. A deal is a deal. I'll begin production of weird candles, and you've done well. In return, I'll offer you a discount on my products and allow you to use my house. Feel free to cook and sleep there whenever you like. I rarely indulge in those distractions.
Like
But
sleeping and
remember,
cooking.
Never, ever interrupt my work.
Fair enough.
Oh, it's you.
What kind of things do you peddle? One thing I know for sure is I got things to sell to you, because as you can see, we are way down on gold now once again. But every time you kill a Red Death person, it's 400 a sword, which actually I'm pretty sure we could turn that into a very juicy farm. If we just went up there, killed all the Red Death people, even the shield's 320. Like if we go up there, kill the Red Death, rest, make them all respawn, go up there, kill the Red Death. I think this would be a really good gold farm. Because as you can see, this stuff is all worth a decent chunk. That's all worth a pretty penny. Sketch. That's probably my sketch, right? I'd imagine. I won't sell that. Is this your house? Or is your house somewhere else? I guess I'd have to look for his house inside the city proper, but... Okay, so we had Change of Heart, which was the blacksmith, right? Denholm asked me to find out why Arthurian refuses to take any orders at his forge. Let's go check the blacksmith. Because I would quite like to have a blacksmith I can use the services of inside Kunacht too, so that I don't have to keep going back to Ones of the South for it. So we'll definitely investigate this. Hopefully they didn't just steal from this guy.
If nobody's working the anvil, then it means the forge is closed, and it will stay closed until Beor gets better.
What happened to Beor?
A woman happened. He was chasing after some girl he thought the world of. Almost ended up shuffling right off this mortal coil. One time he went to see her and didn't come back for 2 days. I looked for him all night. It was only in the morning that I found him. He was all the way on the outskirts of Kurnacht. Alive, but barely. Afterwards, he seemed to be getting better. Everything went back to normal. For a while, I could see that he was starting to struggle with swinging the hammer. Until one day, he just passed out completely. Now he just lies there, barely breathing.
Sounds like he was dealing with a dryad or a succubus maybe or something like that.
Maggot, none of them know what's wrong with him either. I told him that it's no use chasing after a girl, that she'll come to him if she wants to. Stupid kid. I feel bad for him.
And the girl, what happened to her?
What do I care? Whatever happened there could have been her fault, so excuse me for not running to rescue her.
That's fair, I suppose.
I only know that she wasn't from here. Beor's wound wasn't caused by a mere boar. Oh no. Hell knows what happened there.
You know where he was attacked?
He didn't want to tell me what actually happened, but I know that youngsters in love used to visit this one cave with a spring. It was all hogwash, if you ask me. Maybe they went there and were attacked by weird beasts or something. I don't know. To be fair, I don't give a damn now, and I didn't then either. I only cared that Beor was alive.
I need a blacksmith. Can I convince you to get back to work?
No. End of story.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't start working the bellows even for King Arthur himself, let alone some stranger. No smithing as long as Beor remains as he is. If that's to be the end of him, I wish to stay by his side.
Commendable.
What have you gotten yourself into, my boy?
Fair. You mentioned leeches from Camelot. Why are they here?
They came here with their machines and their men. Now, they want to move us all to Camelot to save us from the thickening Wyrdness, or so they claim. Load of bullshit, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Kuanacht has been doing fine with the Wyrdness for ages. I don't see why that would change now. That's all I've got to say.
Well, I don't know if you've been doing fine for ages, because weren't you just immediately under the impression that this guy was attacked by a weird beast? I wouldn't say that means it's all hunky-dory and you've been doing great. Not exactly how I would phrase that. Alright, so this quest is way up here. We got one more in here, which is Through the Cracks. I say that's the quartermaster that we were doing quests for. I say we get everything gathered up that we need while we're in Kunacht, and then next episode we can try exploring the world. sheep's head. So before we head in here, what I'm gonna do for you guys and for myself actually is take a quick refresher on this quest. Sine asked me to investigate the warehouse. Okay, so something happened with the warehouse and things were stolen, I believe, and she wanted us to investigate. We can dip in here and take care of this before we wrap the episode. Well, we just got teleported somewhere for sure. I find myself in a strange dimension. I need to investigate what's going on here.
No. No. Who are you? What are you doing here? Oh, gods. Please don't tell me they sent you after me.
Percy, so you haven't deserted.
Is that what they're saying? Gods, this is a nightmare. I'd never desert. I swear, the lads are my family. I've got nothing else. I can't believe I'm going to die here. With everyone thinking I'm a traitor. And a thief, too.
Doesn't sound like you're too eager to get out of here.
Of course I am. But it's impossible. I've searched every inch of this place. And there's no way out. Things still fall in from time to time. But that opening only works one way. So, I'm sorry, my friend. But we are well and truly stuck here. At least there's food. But if they move the supplies, we're done for.
There's a way in, there's a way out. I'll find it.
I don't envy you your hope. I know what it's like to lose it. But, go ahead. I remember what it felt like to have something to do.
Yeah, we'll get onto this first things first next episode. So thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave a like and a comment. If you want to support the cause and help improve the channel, please do check out those links in the description below. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you soon with more Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Peace.